New reporting that is just in, and I want to just lay this out for everybody because we're just learning this from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that there's a letter that bears Trump's name that was sent to Epstein in 2003. Now, according to the Journal, Bill, it contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist. The Journal says, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. All right, Bill, I mean, that's just disgusting. But in an interview with the Journal, Trump denies writing the letter. He denies drawing the picture. He says, this is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words. And he told the Journal he's preparing to file a lawsuit if it published an article. I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. So, Bill, I mean,
well, the Journal
here we are. I mean, the Wall
now,
Street Journal, obviously, with incredibly rigorous standards, is publishing this.
Yeah, and Trump, the president of the United States, who's a big religious guy, threatened them with a lawsuit. They seem quite confident. It's a birthday card, apparently, in a book of kind of birthday cards for Epstein's 50th birthday in 2003, I believe. So that's 15 years after Trump already knows Epstein pretty well. It has this, apparently it has this kind of typescript of an imaginary conversation. I could just maybe add to what you read, if it's okay. Donald. So it goes like Donald, : we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. For me, I mean, that's a kind of weird, what is enigmas? I mean, is that a word that Trump and Epstein used to convey something that they shared? I mean, we know that. So I think this will raise many more questions about how much Trump, how close Trump was, let's put it this way, to what Epstein was involved in.
And obviously, you know, Trump denies the letter, David. But, you know, the Wall Street Journal, to publish something like this is not an insignificant thing.
Oh, absolutely not. And you've got to believe that they were pretty rigorous about evaluating it before they ran it, because they knew that it would invite a lawsuit. But let me just make a point here. You know, I heard Congressman Burkett very passionately talk about this, but it's really curious about, is there anyone on the planet who believes that the Attorney General did a 180 on this issue on her own? Donald Trump didn't want this material out there, and he instructed her, I believe he instructed her not to release the material, and this is a clue as to why. Now, I don't know what's in there, and maybe there's nothing about Donald Trump in there, but he's not behaving that way. And you know, and now he and his politics have been hoisted on their own petard there, because they rode these conspiracy theories and maybe not conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein all throughout his campaigns and the people around him and people in his cabinet. And now they're in the government and they're being held accountable for the things that they said. And it's created a political headache for him. So this is just more evidence as to why the Attorney General mysteriously did a 180 and didn't release what she promised to release.
I mean, Bill, you know, also, you know, what the Journal's reporting and Trump's denying, but they're saying that the on that letter was the words, you know, may every day be a wonderful secret, or something like that. It's just an odd thing to write. It's a very odd thing to write on any birthday card.
Yeah, it is. And maybe they're just being, you know, yucking it up guys, and it's semi-innocent, let's just say, not necessarily suggesting Trump had full knowledge or even partial knowledge. Maybe he had some awareness, though, of Epstein's activities. He says in the interview in 2002, Trump, remembers, said that he and Epstein both liked beautiful women, and Epstein kind of likes them on the younger side. Trump, at least, it seems to me, one could plausibly say, had some sense of what Epstein was interested in. He obviously might not have known at all about the massive criminal conspiracy. It's, you know, what strikes me at 2 points I want to make quickly. David is totally right. I thought this from the beginning. Zero chance that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel get together and put out a statement on something like this without consulting with, and I would say taking orders from Donald Trump. And incidentally, that's their theory. Aren't they in favor of a unitary executive, right? The president gets to tell the Attorney General and the director of the FBI what to do. So I think there's no chance that they didn't know about it. You know what also strikes me so much? But Trump's been talking about this for 2 weeks, berating his supporters, berating the media. He never says a word of sympathy for the girls, right? I mean, he seems to have no interest, no empathy for these young girls who were so horribly treated. And it just strikes me that he thinks about this from sort of his point of view as a friend of Epstein. I'm not involved. I didn't have anything to do with it. I knew Jeffrey. I didn't know him that well. I didn't know him quite as well as I said I knew him. He has no empathy or sympathy. I think it just is a human thing. I say the contrast with Congressman Burchett is so striking, for me. I mean, they're both very conservative. They're both MAGA Republicans, in a sense, you might say. Burchett's probably voted 99.9% of the time for Trump. But he seems to care as a human being about these young girls in a way that I've got to say Donald Trump has shown no evidence of care.
But what's interesting, Aaron, is that none of these politicians, including Congressman Burkett, the reason they're attacking Pam Bondi is they don't feel like they can attack the president. And so, I said the other day, if you can't attack the king, attack the courtiers, and so it's easier. But they all know the truth as well, and they probably suspect what we're talking about here, and they can't say it because they're fearful of what that might mean. So they're doing this. They've made Bondi the focus of their ire.
And the Wall Street Journal, Trump obviously is denying this and threatening the lawsuit against the Journal. But the Journal, as I said, as part of their reporting, they say, I'll read from the article, the Justice Department officials didn't respond to requests for comment or address questions about whether the Trump page and other pages of the birthday album, that's the birthday album for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, were part of the agency's recent documents review. The FBI declined to comment. I mean, David, that's pretty stunning, right? That's not denials from anybody who had seen it. That's not commenting. That's very different than denying. I mean, we'll see where this goes, but they obviously ran all the ropes on this.
Yeah, without question. I mean, this is pretty explosive stuff, and the Wall Street Journal is a pretty responsible publication. And so you have to assume they ran through all kinds of hoops before they decided to publish this. But look, all of it, everything we're saying here points to the same thing. Donald Trump was discomfited by what was in those files, and he did not want them out. And so they're not going to come out as long as he has anything to say about it, and he has a lot to say about it. And now he is trying to shift the focus and throw it into the rubric of partisanship and say, well, this is all a Democratic plot. I mean, he accused President Obama of slipping things into the files. This all happened years after Obama left office. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. But he knows that when he's in trouble, to bang that hard, the whole hoax hard, and he's doing it here.
So, Bill, where does an explosive story like this go, especially given Trump's immediate threat?
So just the hoax thing, though, remember, he's telling his own supporters that they were hoaxed, and they were hoaxed by Trump, who propagated this theory. I mean, I think this is why it's so damaging to him. It's very hard for David is totally correct that this is what Trump would like to do, to make it a normal Democrat versus Republican, Trump versus anti-Trump. It ends up as a standoff, so to speak. But very hard to do that when you have Trump's own supporters saying, I think in many cases sincerely, like Congressman Burchett, that, this is horrible what happened, obviously what Epstein did, and we need to know as much as we can know, while protecting, obviously, confidentiality of the girls and et cetera. We need to know as much as we can know about what happened here. And so I think it's very hard Trump can't quite shut this down as easily as he's managed.